bought 4 or 5 of them. You didn't know nothing about a pacifier.
Now according to my wife. Okay, we're going to be looking at the Bermuda. The Bermuda is a 135-foot canal schooner. It is sitting in 30 foot of water. And Captain Dano is going to move us back, and we're going to probably go into this viewing well first. But fear not, whatever I'm describing over here will come in over here. We'll go through it twice. And if you have any questions, my name is Pepper. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. There are no dumb questions, there are dumb answers, and I'll provide those. Here's the bow of the ship. Big iron strap on the bow there. That's to protect this boat from any flotsam. 5 feet below the viewing glass, and the viewing glass is 3 feet underwater. This boat is pretty much fully intact. Now this is called the tow post. Rope and chain would be wrapped around that tow post, thrown to shore, and horse and oxen would take this canal schooner through the well and lock system around Niagara Falls, all 30 miles of it. The boat is made of white oak. This is a anchor chain locker. 2 men worked here, and the anchor chains were stored underneath. Also, you can see some rings right here. These are called huzzai rings. They use that so when the anchor chains speed by there, they do not rip up the decking. And again, this boat is made of white oak. It was built in Oswego, New York for a paltry sum of a little over $6,000. It was carrying a high-grade iron ore, specular hematite, still mined today in the Marquette mines. That hematite was worth $13,000 some odd dollars. So the cargo was worth twice the ship. Now schooner means 2 or more masts. This is a 3 foot in diameter mast hole. Picture, if you will, a 110-foot pine coming right out of there with some pretty nice sails hooked up to it. That is where the foremast would have been. This boat had 2 masts. The smaller hole is for bilge water. Bilge water is any unwanted water below decks that would manually be pumped up with a handle and up to the sides of the ship through the holes called scuppers.
Look at that.
This boat had 2 cargo hatches.
Boy, that is really neat.
2 cargo hatches. Now, farmers wanting to feed their families a little more, they came down here with wheelbarrows and dumped high-grade iron ore right into that hole there. And the salvage at the Canadian Salvage Company came down here. They were the closest. They came down here, they busted up the decking with a big telephone pole like boom. Then the hard hat helmeted divers would go down there with their best buddy pumping mare. It only took 3 to 5 days to load this boat up. It took 3 to 4 months to unload it. And you can see that big telephone pole like boom down there. Can everybody see that on this side? When I asked the question, the answer is yes. Yeah, very good. Then I know you're seeing what I see.
Yes.
Can you see it on the other side?
Yes.
All right, very good. This is white oak, and what they left, or what they took off of here is everything, because there were 360 of these made. So they took everything off here that they possibly could to use it for spare parts. Now, right beneath my feet, folks, there's a little rectangular hole there. Picture this viewing well as something that's like that. That's where the raisable centerboard would have been. Most of you folks have seen a big sailboat out of water, that big centerboard there. This one had a raisable centerboard. It needed to make itself shallower when it went into the well and lock system. Then when it went into deeper water, they lowered it. So that was a unique feature on this boat. Now, all of this, yeah, there's a couple of fish down there. I promised you I would see some.
I seen one that showed us the hurt. It was back there, but I think he swam away.
Yeah. Now, right below my feet, you can see some blue, black, shiny gray like rock. That's in gravel form. That's high-grade iron ore that was spilled out as they were taking a lot of it out of here. If you could go down there, you could actually take a magnet and they would would be attracted to that. It still has all of its ore qualities, but it's all protected by the Elger Underwater Preserve, the first underwater preserve in the state of Michigan. It simply states you can dive it, you can look, you can take pictures, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You cannot take anything. If you do, the penalties are severe. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
I will tell you, but I'll wait for just a minute because there's a couple of things here.
No TV.
This is the aft cargo hatch, and then off to the side you can see a 60-foot section of
No
side
cell
rail.
phones.
This was pulled off in the 1960s.
No internet.
A great, beautiful ship. You can actually dive it, and they did dive it in the 1960s. Several boats hooked up their lines to it, and a big gust of wind came up and ripped that side rail right off. Now this area right here is the cabin trunk area. You do not see the cabin. What you do see is some big timbers down there underneath. That's where the cabin was recessed on. This boat sank so quickly that the water and the air pressure popped that cabin right off of there. What? Water. It was heavily overloaded. Yes. Well, no. I mean, the water was one of the causes, but it was heavily overloaded. Yeah, they were trying to make a buck, so they loaded it to the max, and they ran into a big storm, and the water came in. Yes. This is it was built in Oswego, New York in 1860. It sailed for 10 years. It sunk in 1870. Sat over there by the paper mill for 14 years. In 1884, it was brought over here to salvage. Most of the time you see a canal schooner like this sink, and the cabin would pop right off. Here is a companionway that led down to the cabin trunk area. And now the big orange object you're about to see, that is called a rudder post. Underneath that is a huge wooden rudder. On top of it would have been a pinion gear and then the ship's wheel. Right over the back of the ship, 5 feet below the viewing glass,
I know.
is the fantail of the ship. Some of those nails there are called trundle nails. We'll talk about them a little bit later on. The penalties for taking something off of this ship, if you were to take a wooden clothespin off this ship, you could be fined $2,000 per item. Secondly, you could spend 2 months in our Crossbar Hotel. And third, the worst penalty I ever heard, you get invited to Crawford, Texas for quail hunting with the former Vice President. So don't take anything from this ride, but you can dive it.
Guys, look at this.
Okay, again, it's in 30 feet of water. 30 feet of water.
Boy, is that cool.
It's shaped like a banana on its end. So on the bow and the stern, it's 5 feet below the viewing glass. 5 men operated this ship, a captain, a first mate, and 3 able-bodied seamen. In this cabin trunk area, 3 able-bodied seamen were all tuckered out fighting the storm. They went to sleep, and they never did wake up. The boat sank, and they perished with it. The captain and the first mate went for help. They came back the next day, and their boat had sunk.
How was it covered?
Sail power only.
Sail.
1800, sir.
Yeah. That or oar.
Pardon me?
Oar.
Oh, no.
I thought they wanted to stick with like an oar.
Can you imagine how many people would take to
Bunches of them.
488 metric tons of iron ore?
Not sure it might be.
Even Popeye couldn't do that. I hear you there, man. Any other particular questions? Pardon me?
There's the hole we got.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's 3 different tanks. There's Taconite tanks too.
It started right here.
Now, here's the question. Doesn't that look like a big pirate ship down there with that bow?
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like a pirate ship? Captain Nano and myself, we were out here a couple of nights ago with some of the gals from the shipwreck office, and we thought we seen Captain Jack Sparrow down there. Of course, we had Captain Morgan and Captain Daniels with us as well. All right.
Maybe
There we go. White oak, worth about $100,000 of unsalvageable material. Okay, folks, if you'd like to head back up in front here, and you folks upstairs.